Hi everyone, Mr Jones here from Coed Frank Primary School. I'm sure in the light of the communication that went home from school yesterday evening that you would expect to hear from me today, and I'm not going to shirk on my responsibilities in that regard, far from it. What I want to do today is just to clarify the facts of the situation and ensure that you, as our community, are reassured that our actions were timely, that they followed procedure, and ultimately that they were effective. What I'm not going to do is tell anybody that any reaction that they had on seeing that letter yesterday was wrong. I'm simply not in a position to do that. Indeed, nobody can say in the current climate that anybody is overreacting or underreacting to a set of circumstances. The situation as it stands in the country, if not the world, is very real. So it is not for me to say to people not to be concerned or anxious. That very much depends on people's own personal set of circumstances and their own thresholds. What I do hope is that over time in school, the leadership team here, and I include the governors very much in this, have earned the right to be trusted to do the right thing over the last 4 years. And I also hope that people will base any judgment on the school and its actions on fact. Now, some of those lines were blurred yesterday because some media outlets got hold of information that was frankly incorrect, and that certainly didn't help matters when it came to communicating some pretty important messages yesterday. So really what I want to do today is clear that up, take you through the timeline of events and our actions, and reassure you that things in Coed Frank Primary School are as safe today as they were yesterday, last week, and previously. Okay, so the facts of the matter are these. Last Wednesday evening at around 10 o'clock, I received a phone call from a member of our team here who was concerned that a close relative was showing some symptoms identified or related to COVID-19. At that point, the children were coming in on Thursday and Friday. My advice to that member of staff was that absolutely they shouldn't come into school on those 2 days while we monitored at home the symptoms for that family member, and equally they monitored their own health. First thing I want to say around that is that staff member was doing exactly the right thing and had been highly vigilant in what they were doing. It's important to say that at that point, the staff member in question was showing no symptoms themselves. Nevertheless, we took decisive action. So at that point, we can't backtrack to Wednesday afternoon or Tuesday, but we can ensure that things are extra safe for the children on Thursday and Friday. So we took those measures. And we made sure the class was covered with appropriate adults, and we carried on Thursday and Friday. By Friday afternoon, we were informed that the family members' symptoms had continued, and indeed they had sought a test. That test came back on Saturday, and that test showed that it was a positive test. At that point, we then consulted with all the relevant authorities, but equally advised our member of staff to get themselves tested, and we also took the precaution of informing the other staff members in that particular class pod that it would be wise for those to be tested too. Across the weekend, we consulted with Public Health Wales, the environmental agency, and members of the local authority to ensure that we were doing things at the right pace and with the right level of caution. By Sunday evening, late Sunday evening, we were informed that the original staff members' test had come back positive. Equally, we were also aware at that point that 2 members of the team that had been identified as close contacts were both results came back as negative, which to me meant that that particular issue had been resolved due to effective hand hygiene, following procedures in school, effective social distancing within our school. So our policies and procedures had been effective in ensuring that it didn't get transferred to other members of staff, let alone any of the children, let alone any of the wider team. Yesterday morning then we were informed that we just needed to wait for an official format in order to communicate information to parents, to yourselves and to the community. Like I said earlier, it's inevitable that would cause some consternation and some anxiety within the community. We are empathetic to that. Equally, we were through following our procedures, we were able to shut this down quickly. The staff member in question has got a very mild form of COVID-19 at the moment, so is not particularly unwell, but was highly vigilant in their actions in the first instance. This has kept children safe. This has kept fellow members of our team here safe. And I believe that we did things, our level of caution from the outset on Wednesday night was entirely valid and has helped to avert what could have been a very difficult situation. I think at this point as well, it's important to say that our cleaning procedures are followed then to the letter. So the classroom has received then a full clean in the light of, well, at every point, after Wednesday, after Thursday and after Friday, and then of course at the start of Monday morning as well. All contact surfaces wiped down, again following tight procedures that we are running in school to keep everybody safe. That's the set of circumstances. That's exactly what has occurred. We are now following guidelines in terms of Public Health Wales regarding how long individuals need to remain away from school, and we will follow all guidance before reintroducing our members of staff to the team. But I think it's vital that you get your information from the most trusted source that you've got, and we would consider that to be us at school. We are committed to working with the community here in Skewin, and particularly families who attend Coedfranc. We are absolutely committed to working to keeping everybody as safe as possible. These are without doubt challenging times, but we believe if we work together, and that's including the social distancing whilst waiting to come into school and to drop off the children, etc., as per the message yesterday, that we can make things as safe as they possibly can be. So just want to say a last thank you firstly for taking the time to listen to this message. It's an important message. Also, I want to say thank you for sending your children into school today and trusting us to do what we're doing. We're taking a lot of time and care to get things as right as we can, and we are going to be extremely cautious. In terms of information in other media outlets, nobody is going to care about this community more than the people in it. And that includes all the staff in this school and ultimately myself as the leader of this team. So without wishing to cast aspersions on any other media outlet. Ultimately, for those who write those stories, it's just another story about just another school in another village. And maybe tomorrow it moves on to somewhere else. For us here, it couldn't matter anymore. So you are going to get the facts from us at the appropriate time, and you can trust us to do that. Okay, so thank you very much for your support, and please, if you've got any concerns, don't hesitate to contact us in school. We're doing our best to try and answer all the queries and questions as they come throughout the days as we move forward. Thank you very much. Take care.